안녕하세요, 림페시 싱가포르 남자입니다. 네, 안녕하세요 여러분들. 오늘은 한국에서 저질렀던 가장 참비한 실수를 세 가지 얘기를 하도록 하겠습니다. 자, everybody, today I'm just gonna talk about 3 dumb moments that I've experienced as a foreigner here in Korea, right? Which brings me back today to Hanyang University. This is where I went from completely zero in Korean language to now being able to converse, read, write everything in basically live my life using this language, right, over a period of 2 years. So this was where I started learning 3 years ago. Hanyang University, take a look. That's the language school over there. That's where I used to go every single day for 2 years. And I've lived in Korea for the past 3 years. And looking back, some of the dumbest moments of my life here in Korea has been due to my not knowing the language initially when I came. So all these things happened like during the first few months or so, right, of my stay here in Korea. Okay, now first and foremost, when I first came to Korea and I didn't know the dining culture and the habits, right? So I went to this Korean steamboat restaurant, right? And then they have all sorts of Korean utensils and cutleries. And I saw something really curious on the table, which is a pair of ice tongs. And I was thinking, hey, you use tongs for the Korean barbecue, but this is steamboat. What is tongs for? So I reckon that should be like for picking up rubbish. So what happens is that I was like eating, and then a piece of something dropped to the floor, and I was using that pair of tongs to pick up the what I dropped on the floor. And some people were staring at me. I was like, what? Why? What am I doing wrong? And then after that, the service person came over to change the stuff in the soup. They put in new stuff, and they used that tong. I was like, oh my god! I just used that pair of tongs to pick up rubbish. So yeah, I never knew that tongs was like an essential Korean cutlery, and ever since being with Limpeh, like we use that every day on our dining table for almost every Korean dish. You need that thing to pick things up easy, to eat, to pick up your food easily. And that is something I've never seen overseas, and that was really embarrassing. Now that really 돌이켜보면, looking back, it was really embarrassing. At the moment I was just shocked. I wasn't quite embarrassed or what, and then I was like, hey, what the fuck? So this is used for that? Shit. And then the next most embarrassing thing happened to me after I started learning some Korean language, okay? But as a foreigner, a lot of us don't get the pyongyam and the tensori right. Like we cannot differentiate between pe and pe, tal and tal, things like that. We cannot differentiate between the soft and strong sounds, alright? And which can mean very differently in Korean. So one day I went to Pizza Maru to buy pizza, and I wanted a takeout. So I didn't even know how to say takeout. So I was asking them if they could do delivery. So I wanted to ask them, 배달 가능하세요? Can you do delivery 배달? But because my pronunciation was so bad, then what I said was 배달 가능하세요? 배달 가능하세요? If some of you listening to this, if you know Korean language, you should be laughing by now. The look on the boss face was like, what? But seriously? Why? Because 배달 means delivery, but 배달 means stomach ache. I was asking her, is it possible to get a stomach ache from your pizza? That was crazy. I never knew that was wrong at that time. I kept repeating 배달. And then the boss lady said, okay, 잠깐만 기다려주세요. She went in, she asked me to wait for a moment. She went in and then got this guy who can speak English to come and handle me. That's when I realized then something I said must be wrong. But I never knew what was wrong until a long time later that 배달 and 배달 actually are two very different things. Okay, and then the next dumb moment, it's not embarrassing but it's dumb, is when I take Korean subway. Now, see, the thing about Korean subway is that I find that the announcement sound is very soft. I can almost never hear it. And for most of the trains, they don't even have some of the trains, not most, some of the trains don't even have a display board, a digital display board telling you what station that is. So I was on one of these trains, and then I was just taking, and then suddenly I start seeing scenery outside which I've never seen before. So, oh shit, I must have missed my stop. So I quickly went down. I missed my stop by 2 stops. So I went to the opposite side to take the train back, right? And then so I was taking, and I was listening out for the announcement, and it was so freaking soft that by the time I realized, hey, this station name seems to be a little too familiar. It seems to be. And then when I checked the thing, I was 2 stops before again. So I was going 2 stops before, 2 stops after, 2 stops before, 2 stops after. And then I was like, oh, and then I have to go all around it. And this time around, it wasn't just crossing to the other side of the platform. It was going one big round out over the top of the platform and everything through a whole maze of corridor. And then you go to the other side. I was like, oh, that was truly dumb. The announcement thing, oh. So yeah, that's I think looking back over my past 3 years, these are some of my most dumbest and most embarrassing moments here in Korea over the past 3 years. What are some of your dumb and embarrassing moments here in Korea? Please share with us in the comments below, right? So yeah, this series of videos I'm making right now is also a way for me to like you know, kind of like consolidate my experience over the past 3 years before I go to New York next week. Yes, next week I'm moving to New York with Limpeh. Even though I'll be flying to and fro New York, I'll be spending 3 months in New York and then a couple of months here in Seoul, and 3 months in New York, a couple of months here in Seoul. But this is still the end of an era for me because, you know, for the past 3 years, I've never left Seoul for more than 1 or 2 days. So I basically really just lived in Seoul. And this is the next week onwards will be the first time I actually stayed away from Seoul for such extended period of time. So yep, so for those of you who wants to know what's going on with that, please check out my other videos about my updates about moving from Seoul to New York and all that stuff, right? Okay, see you guys in my next video, and please continue to stay tuned to my channel as I show you more about New York and Seoul and Koreans living and Korean stuff in New York. Alright, 안녕.